Mic check. Drop, hold mics like ponytails tight and bobble ops. Stop, stick around, come through and dig the sound of the fly brown.
What's going on there, but they've been like so bad this past week that like, I mean, it always happens usually, but I can't last on stage more than like 8 minutes without my whole face running.
Oh, really?
Like my eyes get puffy, my nose, like it's just, I don't know. It's been happening during, like, when I wake up, too, obviously, during the day, not just on stage, but it's annoying on stage where I'm like, now I have to take Claritin and use Flonase on the podcast, too, because I'm like hawking loogies during the podcast. I'm like, I can't be doing this. It's disgusting, you know? Can't be sniffling the whole time.
You could do, like, a whole, like, flu ASMR thing.
Yeah.
You know, just, like, there's got to be a market for that.
Oh, and it's something sexual for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
They're not doing anything regular with those videos. They're like, we want to see the snot drip down your nose. That's horrible.
That is horrible.
So you came from you lived in, if I remember correctly, you lived in Florida, lived in LA for 3 years, and then now you've come back.
Well, I lived in LA for 7 years.
Oh, 7 years.
But I did stand up out there for 3.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. Okay, I'm mixing up numbers. I'm surprised I even remember that because
I'm impressed you remember that.
I have a hard time remembering people's names.
I know.
Just like I even know your last name too, which is like. I don't know, you kind of stand out. I'm like, I never remember people's anything.
I know, me either. I was somewhere the other day and I was talking to someone and it was like halfway through the conversation, I'm like, oh, I've met this person before.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd been talking the whole time, like, so where are you from?
Isn't it the worst when like somebody comes up to you and they know you and you can't even get the face? Because usually I get the face, but sometimes I don't get the face, and they're talking to me like we've been friends for 10 years, and I'm like, wait, who are you?
I know, and I hate when they kind of keep repeating my name over and over. It's almost like I think they're daring me to be like, you don't know my name.
Yes, 1,000%.
I don't know if it's because I'm paranoid or maybe I'm high when it's happening, but I'm just like, they know I don't know.
Yeah. No, I honestly think that they do it on purpose, but now, you know, I legitimately, every time I meet somebody now, I try to purposefully tell them, like, hey, I don't remember anything.
And I don't care.
Especially your name. So, like, that's the last thing in my filing cabinet. If it's even in there, it's probably in the trash next to the filing cabinet.
And I clear it out every day, too.
Yeah. Because if I don't see you all the time, like, I feel like all the comedians that are working around, like, Melbourne, Orlando, and, like, go over, like, we all see each other, so we kind of know first-name basis, right? But last names, shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kyle Christopher, I remember that one.
Yeah, that one, he's one of those people that you say the whole name.
Yeah.
I never just call him Kyle. It's always like Kyle Christopher in my head.
That is true.
Yeah.
I feel like now I got to find out when I go tonight. I'm going to have to remember if I say when I see him Kyle Christopher or just Kyle.
Yeah, I feel like I say both usually.
Yeah.
I used to work with a guy, and his name now escapes me, but we would always, Brian Parker was his name, and we'd only call him Brian Parker. We would never call him just Brian. And I worked with him for like years.
Did you have any nicknames in high school?
No. Sometimes people would shorten my last name to like Bacon because it's easier, but that's not really a nickname, I guess. But yeah, no, not really.
See, because I would think like the kids would be like so like just not have the great imagine. They'd be like, oh, you just like getting your back itched, like you know, something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Like it's not even offensive.
Yeah. It's just like my name. They're just saying it kind of disjointed.
Yeah.
Is this okay where this is, or should I move it closer?
Oh no, you're good.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I can even adjust like the volume I've learned, so I don't even.
Nice.
As long as it's not like. All right, hey guys, how's it going?
I think when I started, it was over there, and I'm like, I should move this closer. Yeah, I was cooking earlier today, and I took an edible because that's usually what I do when I'm cooking. And what?
That's the best thing. Sorry, it's just weed and cooking is the best thing.
Yeah, I feel like I cook better because I feel like I taste things better usually, but. I think it mostly wore off, but I was driving here, and there's all these, like, different turns to get to your house, and I missed all of them. I made, like, 18 U-turns.
That's great, because I did that, too. I just moved here. I was leaving Titusville, and I passed one of the exits, and I was like, fuck. I had 4 minutes of my drive. I'm like, it's all right.
Yeah.
I'll do dishes later. Yeah, no, cooking and getting high is fun. So do you prefer Florida over California?
You know, I don't know. I mean, I kind of really liked it. I didn't think I would. I thought I'd move here and be like, you know, not sure or not enjoy it as much, or because I was so used to California. I'd lived there for a long time, and you know, my whole life was just doing stand up, and I was, you know, really attached to certain places I like to go to. But I've really enjoyed it here. Like it's kind of, I think I might enjoy it more. But it's also they're both so different. Like I feel like I have the whole personal part here of like my family is here and I'm around them, and you know, it makes that easier, but a lot of my friends are still in LA. So I would say, I don't know, if I had gun to my head, I would probably say I enjoy Florida more.
Yeah. Do you have any friends from LA that are thinking about moving here, or any that have moved here?
No, I think a lot of them think I had like an aneurysm and I took off.
Really?
Yeah.
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 So what clubs would you work when you were up there?
Yeah, well, not as many clubs as I have here, because it's a lot, you know, there you have clubs that aren't maybe, I don't know, like there's just more here, it feels like. But I would do the improv sometimes. I would do like the lab shows, so not the actual like main stage, but like off to the side. I think I might have done like a show or two, like independently produced at the Comedy Store, but like not regularly or anything. It's not, and it's not like the club itself was hiring me. It was like independent shows at both of them.
Yeah, yeah.
So kind of similar to here, where like people just produce a show, it just happened to be at those locations. But whereas here, it's been like I feel like I've worked with actual clubs where the people working at that club have booked me, which has been nice. It's been a nice thing to move up to.
Yeah.
You know, I saw yours with the side splitters.
Dude, I framed it.
I framed mine too.
I'm like, I am not ashamed at all. Like, I don't even care, because like, dude, I didn't even like think about that. I didn't even think they were gonna give me a check. So when I got it, I was like, oh shit, this is cool. I'm like, I get to show my kid this. It's awesome. It's the only thing I've accomplished. No, but honestly, that's like, no offense, it's more important to me than the Kill Tony joke book. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm like, this is an accomplishment. I actually worked at a club, which is cool.
No, I think so too. I also, when I got booked at a club for the first time, it was down in Naples. And I didn't think I was getting paid either. I thought it was kind of almost like an audition of like getting myself in the loop there. And they paid me. And I was like, I'm going to frame this.
I know, yeah. I bought it immediately on the way home. Yeah. I'm like, I'd rather get into an accident than not order this check holder right now.
Let's say she actually bought a check holder. I just bought like a picture frame. And I just like rammed it in there.
There you go. You know, I don't mind ramming things. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I like it down here. I like how big Florida is. I like that, how, like, we can go to Tampa. I want to go to Miami really bad.
Yeah.
Jacksonville's fun. Like, I mean, Daytona, I mean, they lost Mac House, but they're getting another club now. So I don't remember what the name of the club is, but it's one of the chain ones around here.
Yeah. I don't know either, but I know you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. And that place looks cool, because it looks like a old-timey, like, I don't know, it's got like this speakeasy vibe, but it's like huge. It's like all wooden, and like I don't know if you've seen pictures of the inside. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. I hope I get a chance to go out there.
Yeah.
But no.
Are you from Florida originally?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was born in Jacksonville, and then I've been here. Well, not here, but in Melbourne, like my entire life.
What brought you over to Melbourne? Oh, just your family just moved?
My parents were living in the Keys. We were living there for like 3 years, and I think it was because my grandfather lived here, because he had a condo in Cocoa Beach.
Okay.
So I think my parents were just trying to be close to family. We had family in Orlando, family in St. Cloud, like kind of in this area, and they just found Brevard and found like a cheap house, and they're like, we're getting a house, we're moving in, and we're gonna cause childhood trauma on our kids. I'm just kidding.
But in a different location.
No, yeah. So we lived in these apartments over in Melbourne, and then my parents finally got a house out in Melbourne. I've been there my whole life. I used to ride my little bike to the little. We had tennis courts at this college right down. You ever seen Eastern Florida State College?
No.
So there's this college that's like, it used to be a community college. Oh. And everyone used to like make fun of it, because like all the idiots would come there. I think Tosh pointed out. So Daniel Tosh, I guess he is from Titusville.
Oh, yeah.
And he went to Eastern Florida State, or he was talking about him on TV or something a while back. This is like maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. So everyone was like, "Oh, we're famous now," and I'm like, whatever. No, but I love it here, to be honest. That's why like I'm trying to make plans to expand, like do more comedy shows, and I started the Alex's Underground thing because it's what I'm trying to do. Sorry, I'm not trying to like take it. I'm not trying to talk too much. I want to talk to you, but basically I am trying to start like a nonprofit comedy club.
Okay, that's cool.
So I applied for a nonprofit. I'm trying to get funding to basically start it's basically an art center for the community, but it's gonna be it's gonna be like a comedy club basically. To where like that's why I'm trying to build Alex's Underground, because I want to build the professional brand so people know that it's a professional brand, it's quality, it's good, and then that way I can get the backing to eventually get a building. This is like 5-year plan kind of thing, but I don't want to leave Florida, and I'm like if that's the case, like especially if I'm gonna stay in this area. I mean, yeah, Orlando's there, but it's 45 minutes. Melbourne's 45 minutes. I'm like, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
I'm like,
no, I totally get that.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to build something selfishly. Again, like the selfish thing. Like I'm so selfish that I want to build a comedy club.
Yeah.
But but that's another thing I've been noticing lately is like, no matter what, think like a check from Side Splitters, or like a picture at a club here, or like, an accomplishment here, or a meeting here, like no matter how many compiling things of those things that happens, it's never a longevity. Like there's no success or longevity of success within those things that happen, right? It's really about like, putting in the work and the time. And I figured I'm just like, shit, like you have to almost build something on your own.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Because you're like an independent contractor almost.
Yeah.
I mean, you are that exact. I mean, pretty much.
But that's the thing that's nice is about these experiences is like, meeting these people, going to Side Splitters, doing these things. It's like, you can't get that experience anywhere else.
Right.
And to do your own thing, you have to have that experience, which is where the time and the work comes in.
Right.
But I'm still a baby, so I could be saying all this shit now, but I could quit, 3 months later.
No, I mean, I can imagine that. But that's so smart to do it that way, too, because, I mean, we all spend so much time doing this. Like, even if you just do it casually, it's still a lot of time. And I think it's smart to be funneling that towards it, building something, because otherwise you're kind of just throwing stuff against the wall for years and years. And you are building something within your own body of work. But, I think we all want to make money eventually from doing this, or like have it be some kind of return on investment. So I think that's a smart way to go about it. Yeah.
And there's other ways too, because that's the reason I made this decision, just because I want to stay here.
Yeah.
Like some people are like, I want to go. Like, I want to hop around. And that's another thing people can do that works out really well. Like, it's whatever you want to do and what works for you. Right.
That's what I really like about it. And that was part of why I moved back here, it was, like LA, it's very much like there's these set things that we would all go do. And you're like kind of auditioning all the time to kind of move up a level, which is fine. That gives you a little bit more of a sense of like you're doing these stepping stones. But here, I feel like it's a little more individualized. You have different pockets, and you have people that jump around. And I feel like it's more of like you have a chance to grow however makes sense for you and your style. And, I feel like it's less streamlined, which I really have enjoyed here.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't had any other really experience except for just like visiting places and just not even knowing, because it's so hard to know unless you're like immersed in the scene, I feel like.
Yeah.
But you can kind of observe from afar to kind of see how the structure works, especially just from talking to people. And it is that like a lot of like, I mean, Austin's kind of like that. It's very oversaturated, but you can clearly see the levels and the steps and which it can be a good thing too, because it does motivate people to get better and, or quit. But, I think Rob Smiles is the only one that wants people to quit.
Rob loves to boo people more than anything, I feel like.
I called him. There was a trash can at what is it, the other bar on a Monday, and it had his name written on it, and I was like, Rob, see, that's what you get. The universe put your name on a trash can.
He probably autographed it.
He probably did. I wouldn't be surprised.
Probably drunk, thought I was a fan.
He's like, this stupid bitch ass trash can. This trash can should quit comedy.
It's funny too, because like I'm never one of those people who would ever like tell someone to quit by any means. But, like every once in a while, you run across someone that you're like, oh wow, like it's someone like there is this guy that I knew in LA. I don't think he does stand up. He'll never say this, but he was the weirdest person I'd ever met in my entire life. Like he would do this thing where he would sit on a stool. And he would wear all this weird, like, he looked like he was always going on safari, the way he dressed. Like, he was wearing, like, it's always cargo pants, boots, like, weird necklaces. And he would just do these long, like, soliloquies about life. And he was so into his own advice. Like, it was the most annoying thing. And he was such a strange guy that it brought me and another person together. Because after we left him, we were like, what was that? Who is that? We talked like 2 hours about how weird he was, but
yeah, there's I don't know. I almost feel like the devil just infected those people because some of those people just NPCs. They just be walking around life, not knowing left from right.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know. Yeah, I haven't run into anybody in comedy like that yet. But again, like I guess I have, less experience and less time in like different places, so I don't really see as much. But I mean, really, have I? You know what? A woman did show her vagina at an Austin open mic, so that was where I was like, yeah, what are we doing?
Was that like the punchline of the joke?
I guess. I don't know if she got nervous and she's like, like if she was trying to scare us or make us laugh, but all of us just turned away. I was like, I've never wanted to see a bush that big.
Yeah, it's a tumbleweed.
Yeah.
In Texas.
Oh, man. Just stray hairs. And bald spots.
She just like flips away. Rolls down the street.
Oh my God. That's great. Yeah, you're funny as shit. I love watching you on stage because I don't really see you that often because like you're either like we're not booked on shows at the same time. But yeah, you're funny as fuck, so I just wanted to say
thank
that.
you.
I
No, I
appreciate
appreciate
that. Random out of nowhere,
no,
but you're very funny.
Thank you. I was actually thinking about that on the way here. Not about me being funny, but about I think you're
like, yeah, I love myself.
No, I was just thinking about how I don't say I'm so good. No, well, thanks. But I don't see you as often either. But I feel like I see your stuff like either through social media or like when I've been booked on shows with you, and you have certain bits that like stick in my head that I still like laugh about. Like the one about you being in your yard and people thinking like you were a lesbian or whatever. Like, that was the first bit I'd ever heard, and I remember thinking it was so funny. It was at that Bao Bun place.
Oh yeah, the Bao spot when I first met you. I think I met you there. Yeah, because I was like, I gotta say something to her because she's funny. I'm like, I feel like sometimes people don't like either like they're too cool guy or like they're like just like too shy to like tell people that they're funny because like. I mean, the comedians that we see we see each other all the time, like me, Kyle Christopher, Preach Carter, like Joe Part. We like stopped watching each other most of the time, but at least I did because I'm selfish. But occasionally I like to pop in and but it's nice to watch people that I don't see often because I'm like, shit, they're funny, and like I'm gonna let you know if you're funny.
Yeah, no, I love that because I love telling people too. If someone has a bit that I like, I always want to tell them.
Oh yeah,
because there's so many times where I've had a bit that I'm like, is this stupid? And then I almost get rid of it, and then someone comes up and tells me they like it. I'm like, well, I guess I'll keep it forever.
Yeah, I know. I almost got rid of myself before my husband met me. He's like, I like you. I'm like, I guess I'll stay here.
I guess I'll stick around. Suicide's pushed off for a week.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so do you have like any future plans of like where you want to go, what you want to do? You just kind of, live in life.
Well, I actually was just talking to my dad about this the other day because I'm living with him. I'm sure he's like, when are you leaving? But, I really have liked being here, and I feel like I've met some like good contacts that I can see where, I think I'd like to build on those. I don't know how long I would stay here doing that, but so far it's been good. I feel like this area has treated me well, and I don't really have the same schedule that I did before. Like, I'm going to leave by like this day. But I would like to keep doing it here for a bit, and then maybe establish myself more in Orlando, like move closer there. And then I mean, I really don't see myself staying here much longer than like a couple of years at the most, and then going somewhere else. But I also didn't think I'd stay this long either. So it is kind of like a little bit of a living life. But I'm not thinking about it. It's just I'm kind of letting things unfold because there's some things I can't really force to happen faster.
Yeah.
But things have been progressing. So
yeah,
I think a couple more years here would probably be the max. But my sister's in New York, so that's always kind of compelling. But it's also, there's like 10,000 comics living in New York. So it's like, if I can get more stage time here and get better, I'd rather do that than go somewhere else and kind of be starting several steps back.
Yeah, paying $5 or begging 5 people to come with you to a show just so you can do stage time. That's what I heard. I've never been. I'd like to visit. But I mean, it's worth a shot. Maybe just like, even if it's like, I don't know, your, situation is whatever, but like even like 6 months, be like, fuck it,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like going anywhere, because like if you look at, I'm not saying like trying to tell you or anything, because I'm sure you know, but like if you look at any like comedians that are like, they're going almost everywhere, and like they have so many different stories from like how different people react, and I'm like, it is worth it to just like go and see how like the audiences are, because I still want to go to, I want to do North Carolina, or New Orleans is good.
Yeah.
Chicago, what else? I mean, there's so many cities that it's like, fuck, I'm like, am I ever gonna even get to them all?
Yeah, no, I know. It's almost like you're like this little one-person show going from town to town, like selling your wares, kind of. But and I feel like that too. That was part of what I liked about moving here, is that it's a little bit cheaper. It's not like living in LA or New York where your whole paycheck just goes towards your apartment. And it's easier for me to travel from here. It's also a little more central, like in terms of like flights. I think you're a little more accessible here. But and you can get to a point where you can just be a road comic that makes good money. A lot of people don't know you, but like you can make a living doing just that. And I'd be happy getting to that point.
Yeah.
That would be great, just to get there and like have a little business of doing it and, not have to move somewhere.
That's a huge accomplishment, dude, to be able to live on comedy.
Yeah.
Shit. I beg every day. I'm like, God, I don't care when it happens, but just one day. If I could just, because I just like, I just go, like, I'm sure we all feel like this probably, but like, I go to work. I don't give a fuck if the bitches watch it. Like, I go to work and I'm just like, all this time, this time that I'm spending doing these severance, mysterious things.
Yeah, the email factory.
Mysterious, important things. Like I could be working on my podcast, making it better, getting more skilled and like, posting clips and like, things like that, or like actually spending 2 hours every day writing and like listening to my voice recordings and watching videos, and like I'm just like, fuck man, I want that time back in my pocket.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And I think that unless you're someone who doesn't have a job, I don't know how people have 2 hours every morning to write, unless you're getting up at like 4 a.m. Because I mean, you get home late from shows, so you got to sleep a little bit, and then you have to get up, go to work, and then I go straight from work to either mics or shows, and then start the whole process again. So I do try to force myself now to get up like a half hour earlier than I need to, just to get that writing in. So I'm doing it at least some point during the day. But I mean, I feel the same way about my job. Like I like my job a lot, but it's it's tons of...
I'm just kidding.
I have to say that I work for my dad.
I'm just kidding. Sorry, Dad.
I actually do really like my job, and if I wasn't doing stand-up, I wouldn't mind like just kind of going all in on that and trying to get better at it, but that's not really what I ultimately want to do. And there's so many hours, like you said, of the day that I could be spending doing a ton of stuff, and I really can't because of a job. So it'd be nice, too, to get to a point where, before I moved anywhere bigger, getting to a point where I could have at least somewhat of an income from doing stand-up, because then it would eliminate the need to have that on top of trying to do it. I feel like that makes I think it's much easier to push your career along when you can put all of your time into just that.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like our time is our payment,
Yeah.
It really is. Like we're paying our time to make it happen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't, that's the thing is like, I'm trying my best to be patient.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm just like, these ring their fucking night. No, it's just, it's just the day in, day out. You're just like, there's no end to this section for me. Like, there's only an end to the comedy for me, because like I can't do both. Like, they're not, they don't meet. One has to go.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
but
totally get that.
it's a bad way of explaining it. You know what I mean?
No, I
I'm
know what
like,
you
I
mean.
just push things here and there, and you get it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if do you have people like in your life, like your family, who like see the amount of hours you spend doing stand up and that don't get it. They're like, why? Do you ever have that?
Not really.
Oh.
To be honest, I mean, geez, a lot of the things I've done, they've been like, what the fuck are you doing? This is the first thing where they're like, okay, which is weird,
Yeah.
But usually my mom's like, I would try sports. She's like, you suck. And I'm just like, yeah,
Quit.
Exactly. But no, I mean, like, yeah. I haven't really had any like weird, like I almost feel like family has been more comfortable around me because I do stand up in a weird way. I know it's almost a different conversation, but in general, yeah, no, I've never had anybody being like, why are you doing that? Do you?
Well, no, not that they're not supportive, but I do
Yeah.
sometimes have this, like, I know my parents, when I was doing stand-up the first 2 years, didn't see me day in and day out. So they just knew once, like, a week when I talked to them, like, oh, I did this week. But being around them more often now, and they see that I'm gone, every night from, like, 6 to, like, sometimes, like, 1 in the morning, I know they think it's a lot of time being spent. And I think in their mind, like, why don't you just do it, like, once or twice a week? And I can't really seem to explain to them that that's not really an option.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah.
People don't get that at all. Yeah, no, I guess I didn't fully understand the question.
I probably said it weird.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I say things weird too, so we're good. No, but I was thinking more like somebody that just, I guess, yeah, like just doesn't understand any, like why you're doing it at all.
Yeah.
Which I actually take that back, because my grandpa, I told him I was doing it, and he's like, what, are you going to be a star? like a 50s or like a 20s radio guy. I'm like, yeah, grandpa, I'm going to be a star, okay? Yeah, but no, yeah, I mean, some people, I mean, even sometimes I'll be 100% straight up. Like, my husband doesn't get the back end work of stand up 1,000%.
Yeah.
So, like, sometimes I always make sure I stay home 2 nights a week, to keep that balance. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's different. But in general, same thing. He's like, oh, you can't just, maybe if I'm like, no, like,
Yeah.
like I need to go as much as I can. Like,
Right.
I'm going to go to Melbourne and then drive to Orlando.
Right.
Because,
yeah.
like,
there's no.
I can't explain it.
Yeah,
to you.
it's just I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I don't really feel like
1,000%.
that about a lot of other things. And I don't when people say it like that, I'm like, yeah, I get why you're asking me, but it doesn't feel like this extra job. It feels like I want to go do this, But
Yeah.
I'm also compulsively not gonna say no either,
It's the only thing that doesn't, like, tire me out.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
my body will be tired, but my mind is just fucking can't wait
Yeah.
sometimes. Like, I
Yeah.
just, like, especially when I take my 2 days off, sometimes it's in a row. I don't like doing that at all. I like to, like, maybe 1 day off and then go and then a day off. But, like,
Yeah.
sometimes it's 2 in a row and it fucks me up. But, yeah, no, I get excited to do it.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I've ever considered. I've taken... Longest time was on vacation. I took 6 days off, and I did stand up in another country because I couldn't help myself. It's the first thing that I've never been lazy to do. Like, I've worked harder than I've ever worked on, like, anything else I've done in my life, Like, do you do that?
Oh, yeah. Because everything else, I'd be like, I like it, but, it's not moving as fast as I want, or I don't really care as much now, or like that. It's like the inspiration of that is gone. But, like, with this, I always want to do it. And I don't want to be lazy with it either. And I also... it's so much a part of my daily life that if I go through periods of like not writing, it fucks so much with me. Like, it's all I can think about. I keep talking about it. My sister would get mad at me because like once a month, maybe like around my period or something, I would like have these like little writer's blocks for like a couple days, and I would call her and just go on and on about how upset I would be over it, and she's like, you'll write again. Like, I don't know. Every month you bring this up, and it just becomes such a big part of my day to not be thinking about writing something, even if it's bad, like just when it's just nothing, it's like, what do I do?
Yeah. I mean, I could totally feel where you're coming from on that, because I get where, like, I'm in it right now to where I bought an alarm clock.
Uh-huh.
So I put my phone in the kitchen.
Oh.
So that way when I wake up, I automatically go outside and write for 30 minutes.
Oh, that's smart.
I've done it once in the past week. See, here's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing is I get so mad at myself. Like I'll be at the open mics just like, guys, I just like, what the, do you guys write every day? Do you write every day? I need to know if I'm doing better than you because it's really what I'm trying. No, but it's like, I'm trying to do this thing where I'm writing 30 minutes every day, same thing. And I just beat myself up. So I mean, the whole thing, nothing all day, because occasionally, like, the writer's block, like, because I always get at least one thing a day.
Yeah.
At least one thing pops up or something happens in my day that I can talk about that night, that sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's a miss, whatever, but it's something. But the blankness, that's scary.
Yeah. And it always comes back. But, like, whenever it happens, it always feels like it's the last time I'll ever think of anything. And I think because early on, I wrote a lot before I ever started doing stand-up. I just had, like, a notes folder, and I wrote a bunch of jokes all the time. I don't know why. I just wrote them down because I thought, like, I don't know. I just kept doing it. And I never had to, like, force myself to write. I just kept doing it all the time. So once it became a structured thing of, like, I have to do this every night, I think it started happening more then. I felt like I was like overjuicing like a lemon or something, and that's when I started to freak out about it. But I think it's more of that I'm just using that muscle so much that I'm paying so much more attention to it that I'm probably writing more than before, but I'm much more self-aware of it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it almost can be like it feels like your hobby is turning into your job, even though people get so mad when you describe it as a hobby. We do this every day almost.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a hobby, obviously, but in general, speaking on just general terms, like it's, you know, it's the saying, your hobby becomes your job and you start to hate it.
Right, yeah.
And I don't think I'll ever hate doing stand-up comedy, but the writing becoming a job sometimes when it comes to sitting down and writing on a piece of paper, that becomes a job for me because I'm like, so lazy with it. I like the passive flow of like information, and then I'll talk in my phone, and then I'll talk about it that night, and I'm like, I need to be like, I don't know. I'm just, you know.
No, I know what you mean. It's almost like this, like a hamster wheel you're on. You got to kind of keep it going, and if it stops for some reason, it takes so much more force to get it. At least for me, to get it back going again. Yeah. But if I find myself and I try not to think about it for like a couple of days and like let myself just be a person and not feel like I have to be thinking about stuff like that, then I'll kind of get like a big burst of things. It's almost like I'm making up for lost time, and then I can write a lot. But then I go try 8 things and 2 of them work, and I'm like, all right, great, I'm back on top.
Yeah,
it's all working out again.
1 out of 10, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it can be tough to just like stay on top of it, but I don't know. Maybe this is the spark that I needed to get up, bitch, to get it done. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, because I have a hard time. I was talking to, you might be able to relate on this. I don't know, but I was talking to a couple of the guys last week, and I've gotten into this maybe bad. I don't know. Probably bad. This like rotation of like always doing new things. Because if I'm not doing new things that excite me, or I can naturally bring in an old joke into what I'm saying on stage, if I just say a joke, I'm just saying the joke, and I just hate the joke because I'm just saying the joke, you know?
Oh, like if it was rote.
Yeah, and I've gotten into like this rotation of just like I keep going to like the Monday night mics, Wednesday night mics, Friday shows, Saturday shows, and I'm like trying to always push to do like new, and like that's especially at like a showcase, like I shouldn't really be doing that, you know what I'm saying? Like I should have tight, but like I feel myself getting bored very quickly and wanting to rotate through new stuff and just keep doing new shit.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it wasn't really an argument, but I was like, to me, in 10 years, my life, when I'm really seasoned, and I feel like I'm really good, my life is going to be completely different.
Yeah.
So the things I'm talking about now, yeah, sure, the premises will probably be the same, but I feel like everything's going to be so different in like 10 years that like the value I'm really trying to get out of comedy right now is just getting comfortable on stage and not being a pussy, you know, because like I still get that you know, like the heartbeats and like the stomach flutters and the IBS, like it's all there, you know.
Just on stage shitting yourself.
Yeah, and like I love writing new jokes because I love when talking about that day. Like I like talking about the shit that just happened because it just makes me so excited to try something new. Cause especially when it lands, it's like, you know.
Well, especially when it's really topical too, and you feel like I'm the first one to maybe like get at least that, you know, in my little world, like get to making fun in this way of this thing. I think that there's nothing wrong with that, and I think it's also just like two schools of thought. Some people are very topical; they do new stuff all the time, and it's nice. It's impressive too. I think if they can make something really good, really new quickly. Like Dave Chappelle hosted SNL, I think a couple months ago, and he had like 15 minutes on like the LA fires and like all these topical things, and it was so it felt like he'd worked on it for a long time. I mean, obviously he's amazing, and I know he's not like an actual like open micer or something, but it was. I really enjoyed that. Like it was new. It wasn't like, I mean, maybe it's stuff that won't work 5 years from now because it's not as topical, but it was really impressive to see that he had all this material so quickly about things that were, you know, in the news, because it's like a 24-hour news cycle. So like something from a few months ago feels like years ago now. So I think you do kind of have a little more freedom to be churning out newer stuff all the time.
Yeah, and I think like for me, obviously it's not working 100% of the time because I'm still new and I'm learning this. But my like biggest point to them was, I guess, you know, can you get so good, like, can you do that so much and get so good at it that can be your thing? Yeah. Like, is that an option? And everybody was like, no, you need to go back and edit your material, rewrite your material. And I'm like, but I don't. I do it. The only time I rewrite old jokes legitimately is on stage. Anytime I'm actually writing, it's all new stuff.
Oh, interesting.
And so I'm in this, that's why I say, like, I feel like I'm in this, like, fucked up cycle that I don't know if it's bad or not, you know?
I think that, I mean, I think at this stage that we're both kind of in, I don't think that is necessarily wrong, because I think that, I mean, not that you're saying it's wrong or right, but I think that I think there's kind of a good side to that, in that I think after a while, then when you do go through phases where you're having a harder time writing, that to me is the good time to go back and be focusing on older stuff and trying to rework it, and, you know, seeing that the inspiration of something old and kind of making it new again. I think that's a really good muscle to be working. I don't know if that's something you want to do forever, because I feel like that would be so exhausting to write new stuff all the time. But when I first, like my first year doing it, my goal every week was to write a new 5 minutes, because I'm throwing out so much stuff that I can rework in a new 5 minutes. And after a while, it got really exhausting, because there were things that worked, and after a certain amount of time, I had 5 minutes that I felt really good about. So it's like, okay, well, how can I work on making this 5 minutes better? But it was after doing a ton of new stuff every week for a while that...
I think that's the stage. I'm just in that, like, stage kind of thing. I think I'm really just trying to figure out what I like to talk about. Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. And then maybe I'll just maybe I just need to just go with the flow and just try to fucking write. That's what, I feel like I need to not ask people.
Yeah, especially guys.
Yeah.
No, that's not how it is.
Carter and Kyle Christopher? Yeah. Let's ask that. No, I'm just kidding. Great guys. Oh, yeah. No, I was just curious to see if you related to him. That's helpful to know that, because, like, I'm so glad I was convinced to go into his stage like that, because I talked to Selena and she told me about how she did that, where she was trying to write new stuff every day, talk about her day, you know, like she wouldn't bring her notes on stage, but still do the new stuff. Yeah. And I started doing that. And the way I progressed, like from where I was to where I am now, I was like, holy shit. Yeah. Like, no, I'm actually like being myself on stage now and deep diving into my real shit and like my real day. And I'm like, oh, now I'm like, okay, now we're like kicking the horse a little bit. Let's see what I can get out of this. So, I'm like, I'm trapped in like that, like, yeah, pumping new shit out all the time. But yeah, I guess I'll just have to go with the flow and see what happens.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times those cycles just kind of right themselves eventually. Like maybe you'll find some balance of like, oh, I have this. Like there are times where I have like now that I've accepted that every once in a while I'll have writer's block. Sometimes that's when I just focus on old shit, and I'm like, okay, how can I rework this so it feels new for me? And then also I think sometimes you go on stage and you try a bunch of new stuff and maybe all of it bombs, and you're like, fuck, okay, well I don't want to do this again. So I think then I'll go, okay, well I'll work in something that I know works, and I'll try new stuff around it, and just to feel like, okay, I have at least one kind of almost guaranteed laugh in this. And so I think you kind of do both at the same time. Like, you can be maybe tweaking older stuff that you think feels good, like a showcase, so that you're kind of guaranteed to do like your best in front of people, and then during the week, pumping out new stuff every day, because it's not, the stakes aren't the same, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah. I just want to be more, I guess, work on getting to that polished level to where like I know I'm going to do this when I go into this room.
Yeah.
And it's going to be all right. I mean, can't guarantee it every time, obviously.
No,
you never know what'll happen.
That's the worst. When you're at like a bad show and you're like, I'm going to do my best stuff and it's going to be fun. You go up there and no one laughs at your best joke ever. And you're like,
these people hate me.
Yeah.
I suck. I'm going to go home and cry myself to sleep.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but I mean, maybe let's get off the comedy subject before we get out of here. Where are you from?
I'm from like an hour north of Orlando, so it's like if you know where Mount Dora is, it's like I'm originally from Eustis, which is the town next to Mount Dora.
Okay.
But now I live in Umatilla, which they're all right there together.
So, did you grow up there?
Yes, yeah, I grew up there, and then I went to South Florida for college, and then maybe a few months after I graduated, I moved to LA, and then I was out there until this past September.
So you did stand up after college?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
That's my only regret is I wish I'd started it earlier. But
yeah.
But I did the Groundlings out there. That's the whole reason I moved there. And I'm not sure are you familiar with like the Groundlings that they're it's like an oops, sorry.
No, you're good. Give me another one.
I honestly been so impressed that I haven't burped at all so far, because I burp constantly. No, it's like an improv school, like for comedy. A lot of like Kristen Wiig, Will Ferrell, they all went there, and I was really into doing that, and I really liked it. But after I got further and further up in doing it, it was very character based, and I'm a pretty dry person, so I just my style did not lend itself to that part of it as well. And one of my teachers, now I'm getting back into stand up, but one of my teachers told me to do stand up, and that's how I got into it. So, yeah, I did it out there for 3 years, and then I came back here.
Yeah. So, is all your family lives in Florida, or they moved? Oh, yeah.
No, they're all right
so
here.
every single one of them. Yeah. All right. So a little southern Florida.
Yeah, for sure. Like the town I live in is where my dad grew up.
Yeah.
And they had like a family business there, so it's like the entire extended family is all around there too. My mom's family's from Kentucky, but she both her parents are gone, and she has a brother who's still in Kentucky, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah. You have any brothers or sisters?
Yes. Yeah, I'm the oldest of 4, so I have 2 brothers and a sister.
Are any of them funny?
Yeah. Well, my sister's really funny. I think she's funny because it's surprising. She's very everything's color coded. She's very organized, very, very strict with herself, very disciplined. But she kind of will come out of the gate and say like the weirdest, funniest stuff, out of nowhere. And so I think she's hilarious because of that. Polarizing thing about her. But then my other brother too is pretty funny, pretty sarcastic. And then my second, the one right under me, that he's like a year younger than me, he's funny in the sense of like he's odd. Like he just says like the weirdest stuff that it's not intentionally funny, but it's hilarious because it's like on another planet usually.
Yeah. Did you have like any like who introduced you to comedy, or did you have any like influences when you were younger?
The reason I started listening to it was my dad was super into Jerry Seinfeld, and like when I was like 10, he was talking to my mom about how we just got like an iPod, and he had downloaded like a Seinfeld album, and he was just saying how it was so funny. He was listening to it at the gym, and he couldn't finish his workout because it was hilarious. And I was like, well, what is this? I want to listen to it. And he's like, well, no, because there's like some bad words in there or whatever he said. It's like Jerry Seinfeld too. It's like we talked about socks. But so I was 10, so I found it and I started listening to it, and it was so funny, and So then I started listening to stand-up all the time after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was-
And didn't stop. Yeah.
Yeah, like all through college and stuff. So
Are there any specials that like stick out in your mind that you used to listen to?
there's this Chelsea Peretti special called One of the Greats that came out on Netflix like years ago, and I can't find it anymore. But that was one of my favorites for a really long time because it was kind of bizarre and a lot of jokes I still think about to this day of like. She has one about like how she wishes she could like text her dog, and like she has this whole like act out of her and her dog like getting into a fight over text, and so much she's having a party, and then someone's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm just having a fight with this guy. I don't know why that one really sticks out to me. And there's also a couple. There's like a Hannibal Buress special that like I listened to for years, and Dan Cummins. Those three really stood out to me in college. I listened to them a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did someone push you into stand-up, or did you just find it?
So, yeah, someone did push me into stand-up. Interesting enough, and it wasn't even somebody that did stand-up.
Oh, yeah.
But when I was younger, so my grandpa watched Ron White, and when we were little kids, he would let us watch it with him.
Uh-huh.
So I just remember Ron White on stage with his black suit and his whiskey and his cigar.
Tater salad.
And then Dane Cook's Vicious Circle was my teenage years. So when my first boyfriend broke up with me, I was in the Chick-fil-A parking lot waiting for him to get off, and I was watching Dane Cook Vicious Circle on my phone. But when I was going to Miami with my friend, we don't talk anymore. Don't know what happened. But, I mean, I'm thankful she was in my life because without this little push, I probably wouldn't have started. I mean, I'm sure I would, maybe at a different point. But we were on our way to go see Theo Von over in Miami. And I got us tickets to go see. We got a hotel. We stayed the night, whatever. And on the way there, because I had been thinking about it, I don't know where the thought came from. I had just, I watched podcasts. I watched, Kill Tony. I watched stuff. I'm sure that's obviously where it stemmed from, because a lot of comedians are in that world.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I'd been thinking about it for 3 months, didn't say it out loud to anybody. I was too embarrassed. I was like, this sounds gay. I'm like, everyone's going to make fun of me. And then we're in the car, and I'm just, man, I was like, I'm thinking about trying stand-up comedy. And she's like, do it. And she was like, have you ever seen Marvelous Miss Maisel? And I go, no. And she's like, you should watch it. So I watched that. I watched the whole thing. I binge watched it over like the course of 2 weeks. And I'm like, who's this about? Let's start looking up Jody, or what's her name? Fucking, she dated Lenny Bruce. I don't know. Anyways.
It's not, the name escapes me, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. She's, the one of the iconic female comedians.
Yeah.
God forbid, I can't remember her name. I'm sorry.
I know, me too. Because I know there's like Joan Rivers. It's not about her.
It is about Joan Rivers. Yes, it's about Joan Rivers.
I thought it was about the woman before. Not there's only one woman before her, but I think I'm thinking of maybe Cloris Leachman or no, not her. I don't think she's a comedian. I don't remember her name.
I thought it was Joan Rivers. I could be wrong. It could be
Joan. I don't know if she would be old enough to be, but maybe you're right. Maybe she is. I'm really bad.
She's an old bitch.
Yeah, she's dead.
I'll be an old bitch one day. Watch. I'll be the oldest old bitch.
I
got the white genetics.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So I watched that, and then I was nervous to do it, so I was watching I watched Ralphie May's comedy class, because he talks about the like real shit where you're like, fuck you if you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And then Bill Burr, Louis C.K. talking about like some advice on just professionals' advice on comedy, things like that on YouTube. And then it took me 5 tries to get on stage. I went to the Improv in Orlando like 3 times. Couldn't get on the open mic, or it was just so happened to be closed. I was like, God, are you telling me not to try this? Because this is taking forever.
Right.
Finally got on stage, and I was like, as soon as I'd never had a smile on my face as big as I had that the first day I went on. I'm like, this is drugs. Yeah. This is like the euphoria I felt. I'd never felt it before. I was like, this is incredible.
Oh, wow. It's like right away. Like,
yeah. Oh, my God. I came home. I tell everybody the story. I came home to my husband, and I like looked at him dead in his eyes, and I'm like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it was the weirdest fucking, like, I'm sure other people have had that experience, but I was like, I have to do this. I don't know what it is that's calling me about this shit.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be gay, but I gotta do it, you know?
Like coming out to everybody as a comedian.
It's pretty much what it is, you know? I think he thought I was about to come out to him and divorce him. He's like, oh, she just wants to try stand-up comedy.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, thank God. She gets to hang out with a bunch of men at night.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Oh, yeah, that'd be much better.
Lovely.
Yeah.
No. What about you?
Yeah, the first time I did it, it was kind of like we were talking about too, of like it just being this compulsion of like, well, I'm just gonna keep doing this, and I didn't feel like a euphoric feeling, but I think I had been waiting so long to try it, and I think I knew I would like it, but there was this fear of like, okay, then if I do it, you know, I'd listened to so many comedians for so long, and I kind of got the gist of what their lifestyle was. I'm like, do I want that? Like, even if it goes well, do I want that? And then I did it, and I was like, yeah, fuck, I really want to do this. You know, I really enjoy it, and I just kind of. So it's kind of a mixed feeling of like, oh, this thing that I kind of put off for something I really like. Yeah, and then I just kind of just never stopped doing it after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wish it was like a euphoric, like, oh, you know, moment. But it was more of just like, yeah, okay, this is great.
Yeah. Well, you said you had been writing. I feel like, because I can relate to that moment of like I've had that conversation with myself. Like, do I want this?
Yeah.
And it's a scary conversation because like I almost see the two paths of like, if I don't do this and if I do this.
Yeah.
And if I make it, do I really want to be that guy that has people watching them? Everybody knows a lot about you, like, you know, things like that. Am I okay with that? Because that's kind of terrifying,
oh, yeah.
you know? So I feel like maybe everybody just kind of hits these little things at different points. And like, because I'm sure you have to get, you know, some sort of euphoria at this point to still love it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely like the euphoria of like, I love doing it.
Yeah.
But I think I knew I already liked performing and doing comedy and writing for myself and performing. But so that really wasn't a new thing, but I think it was just like, it was one of those where once I started doing it, I knew I would probably just keep doing it. And I did. You know, I remember calling my dad after. He's the one that pushed me to do it. And he's like, well, you know, if you like it, keep doing it. If you never do it again, that's fine too. And it was really nice to hear that of like, you don't have to keep doing it if you don't want to, you know, to feel like I had a choice. And I never stopped doing it, but it's nice to know I could.
Yeah.
But now I feel like I'm getting older, and he's like, so when are you going to stop?
Yeah. I'm waiting for that conversation.
Yeah.
We'll see how long it takes for my family to get to the brink and be like, listen, bitch, you gotta stop talking about our personal matters on stage. I'm like, listen, guys, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm gonna say as little as I can. Yeah. Don't tell me about your activities. No. Oh, well, this has been fun.
Yeah.
Well, I'll definitely have to do this again, like, next year when I get through 30 people.
No, this was great. This is the longest we've like talked, but it felt very like natural. You know?
Yeah, I don't even know how long we've been doing this for, but it just feels right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I think it's been almost like 40 minutes or something like that. So
probably.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to keep talking to you, but we got the shows to do.
Yeah, exactly.
This is gonna come out this week. So I just have people look at the camera and you can like say like any shows that are upcoming, like your Instagram, your people want to follow.
Yeah. My Instagram is Madison Bakich. So my regular name, why can't I spell my own name? Madison, and then Bakich, Bakich. I have shows coming up this week, but I don't remember which ones. I actually have to check my calendar. But I do have. I have your show tonight. We're doing that.
Yeah.
I'm excited about. And I'm doing the Laugh Out Lounge. Juan Rosario is doing a show. It's like themed, and it's like we do sets, but then we also have to like guess a song. So I have to learn a bunch of songs ahead of time. So yeah, I'm excited for that this week. That'll be on Thursday, on the 15th.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Let's go do these shows.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's fun. Let's see. Am I right? 40 minutes?
She keep working that back and about to throw the shit like back and forward. When she teasing what she got me good. When she move